The documentary on the life of Patriarch Bolaji Idowu. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu was born at Ikorodu on the 28th of September 1913. He attended Anglican and Wesleyan Methodist schools at Ikorodu. He became a Christian with the influence of the Reverend Dr. A.T. Olaolude. He attended Baptist Boys High School, Abeokuta, and later to Wesleyan College, Ibadan, where he was trained there as a sub-pastor. After the completion of his training in Wesley College, he was posted to Remo, where he worked both as a sub-pastor and headmaster of the primary school in the town. In the year 1942, Patriarch Bolaji Idowu returned to Wesley College as a divinity student and was trained to become an ordained minister. As an ordained minister, Patriarch Bolaji Idowu was stationed at Trinity Methodist Church, Tinubu, Lagos, under the Reverend Evans Williams as the superintendent of the circuit. He also worked under the Reverend M.O. Dada, being a superintendent at Ologbo Circuit, in which Patriarch Bolaji Idowu was at Obueko Methodist Church. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu went to study in England in 1945 and returned in 1948, where he was stationed at Otapete in Ilesha, and after leaving Ilesha, he was later stationed to Jos, and after leaving Jos, he was stationed to Trinity Methodist Church, Tinubu, Lagos, from 1951 to 1957. In the year 1953, he later became the superintendent of Trinity Methodist Church, Tinubu. He became a staff of the Department of Religious Studies of the University of Ibadan in 1958 and later became a professor and the head of the department in 1963, in which he retired in 1976. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu was elected the President of Methodist Church Nigeria on the 4th of October 1972 after his investiture and consecration at the Trinity Methodist Church, Tinubu, Lagos. He visited some of the churches in Methodist Church Nigeria, both in the west and in the eastern Nigeria. Because of the low ranking of Methodist ministers in interdenominational gathering, most especially in the order of procession in the worship service, Patriarch Bolaji Idowu started a reordering process and proper ranking of Methodist ministers. As a result of this, Patriarch Bolaji Idowu thought that the word bishop will be more recognized than using a superintendent, and besides, superintendent is the Latin word for a bishop. This is why bishop was used in place of a superintendent, and archbishop for chairman, and then patriarch in place of president. Therefore, presbyter, priest, and deacon were placed under a bishop. All these changes took place at the retreat in Asaba in the year 1974. The committee that met at the retreat were the life of the church, faith and order, and the law and polity, also with the representatives from the cross section of the church within the conference area. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu was the 3rd Methodist Church Nigeria president between 1972 to 1975 and was the first patriarch of Methodist Church Nigeria in 1976 to 1984. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu, being an elite and a scholar, his addresses at the conference were known to be very long, like 30 pages and above. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu made various visits to high-ranked people in the society, like the then governor of Cross River State, Chief Dr. Clement Isong, in 1981. He also visited the governor of Kwara State and Oyo State, and so many governors during his lifetime. He visits them anytime he's on an episcopal visit to the environment, as it is called then. On visits made by Patriarch Bolaji Idowu, he was known to be very sympathetic to people in trouble and distress. He visits them to pay condolence visits with prayers. He is also known to go along everywhere he goes to with a key, in which the key is being referred to the keys of the kingdom. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu was also known to visit the Pope that was in office during his time. During the reign of Patriarch Bolaji Idowu as the Patriarch of Methodist Church Nigeria, Methodist Church Nigeria got divided into two factions. In the two factions, Patriarch Bolaji Idowu remained the leader of Methodist Church Nigeria, in which he was the Patriarch, and another faction in Methodist Church Nigeria made the Right Reverend Dr. Adebola their leader, in which he was made the president. What could have led to the two factions was probably because of the dismissal of the Very Reverend Dr. Adebola from Methodist Church Nigeria, and the dismissal was as a result of the dispute between him and Patriarch Bolaji Idowu, despite the fact that the two of them were known to be best friends. This dispute was probably as a result of Very Reverend Dr. Adebola not willing to leave the Institute of Church and Society after he was made a bishop. Very Reverend Dr. Adebola also thought that Patriarch Bolaji Idowu should have left his being a staff at the University of Ibadan while he was the Patriarch, but he remained a staff at the University of Ibadan and yet the Patriarch of Methodist Church Nigeria. The dispute started when Very Reverend Dr. Adebola was asked to leave the institute he was, and he refused. The dismissal of Very Reverend Adebola from Methodist Church Nigeria became more reality when he was known to have called his ministerial colleagues zombies. A meeting to fuse the two factions was scheduled for 14th July 1989 at Methodist Church, Ijoku, Shagamu. After the meeting, Patriarch Bolaji Idowu dismissed the meeting and concluded that the ministerial conflicts will be put to an end. A service to reunify the two factions was held at the Hoas Memorial Methodist Church, Yaba, Lagos, in the year 1990. During the reign of Patriarch Bolaji Idowu as a leader in Methodist Church Nigeria, there are various achievements made by him. He organized a series of retreats for members of the church to deliberate on the progress of the work of God in Methodist Church Nigeria. It was during his time that the tailoring factory started, where the ministerial vestments of Methodist Church Nigeria is being made. It was Patriarch Bolaji Idowu that introduced episcopacy to Methodist Church Nigeria. During his time, the numbers of dioceses in Methodist Church Nigeria increased from 7 to 15. He also introduced the Deaconess Order into the ministerial hierarchy of Methodist Church Nigeria. He instructed that the authority of Methodist Church Nigeria be vested in the conference. Christ Zion Methodist Church Incorporated of 24,000 members and 12 ministers applied to join Methodist Church Nigeria during the reign of Patriarch Bolaji Idowu. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu also introduced the 1976 Constitution. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu reordered the hierarchy of the clergy and the lay officers in Methodist Church Nigeria. During his time, there was an improvement in the liturgy and the order of worship of Methodist Church Nigeria. Ordained ministers increased from 100 to 300. He also indigenized Methodism in Nigeria. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu retired to his house in Ikorodu in the year 1984. He slept in the Lord in the year 1993 at the age of 80 years. The Methodist Cathedral in Ikorodu was named after him. That is Patriarch Bolaji Memorial Methodist Cathedral, Ikorodu. Patriarch Bolaji Idowu was married to the late Mrs. Elizabeth Yewande Bolaji Idowu with 2 sons and 4 daughters. During his lifetime, Patriarch Bolaji Idowu was an author of few books like Olodumare, God in Yoruba Belief Towards an Indigenous Church, Job, a meditation on the problem of suffering,